Hey everybody, it's Matthew. Welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm just going to turn the camera on and sit here and talk about something. This will be a recurring series. I'm going to call it Matt's Musings, I think, where I sit in front of the camera and talk about things. I'll try to keep it to a music focus. I'm not going to go out in the weeds on other things, but it should be a fun, interesting thing. And I consider talking about what I'm going to talk about today in the About Me video, but I felt that this topic deserved its own place to discuss. This might be a little difficult for me. We're going to be talking about overcoming limitations when it comes to music. So the way we can open up that discussion, I suppose, is actually getting into music. Some people don't know what to do. They'd be like, I can't afford anything, or I don't have time to practice. And time is actually a big thing that, kind of prevents people from pursuing the music game because it takes time to get good. But I mean, there's always solutions to those problems. Like if you don't have a lot of money, buy a used instrument for cheap, find something you can trade somebody for it. And I mean, today there's so many low-cost options for music, whether it's a guitar, buying an interface to record with, getting a microphone, any type of equipment, So that's less of a barrier now. I mean, with time, it's just like, if you want to be good at it, you have to make the time to practice. It's not going to just be there for you. And you might actually have more time than you think to actually be able to do that, Can always see what you can trim off, where you can fit things in. I have a problem with dealing with time a lot, personally, because I like to have time to be able to do all the things I want to do in a day, and it bothers me when I can't do those things. We make do with what we can. I can't practice 8 hours a day, unfortunately, like some virtuosos like to, but I have my usual hour a day that I try to set aside to practice and put the guitar in my hands. Not always as efficient with the practice. I kind of get out in the weeds, start noodling too much, but at least I've got the guitar in my hands and I'm doing something with it. That's important. Of course, with life, there's lots of limitations, that get in the way of everything. This is the part where this gets difficult. I do have some particular things that kind of make guitar difficult for me, and this is why I wanted to make a separate video. So some of you who follow me on Instagram may have seen some things alluding to this about 6 months ago. Actually, no, it would have been last year. But let me just get the big part out of the way, which is I have muscular dystrophy. And that's kind of a pretty heavy thing to just drop in a video like this, but that's what's going on. And that's part of the time why I've had time to try to learn music and make a channel, is because, well, I don't have anything else going on because I can't go out and get a job. So here I am in front of the camera talking to it like some crazy person. But anyway, it's a particular variety called Becker's muscular dystrophy, so I'm not like in a really dire strait, I mean, obviously, my body's fairly weak, and there's a lot of things I can't do, but I'm not, vegetable. So you might be wondering, how can I play guitar with that? Well, I mean, the hardest part is just picking up the guitar and moving it around to get to where I can pick it up and put it in my lap. But that's why I'm sitting all the time, because I can't stand up and play it at the same time. My balance isn't good enough to do that. And but playing, it's not been too much of an issue, I do okay. Like, I can hit bends that I want to. I can pretty much do what I want with it for the most part. And it's never really gotten in the way. I mean, there are some things with like fatigue. I can't play very long. If something is played fast, if there's a lot of strumming in a row with no break, That's a no-go for me. Arms get too tired. Forearms get tired too fast for me to do that. I think some of my speed might be a little bit capped. I mean, my alternate picking is pretty fast, but it's more the finger dexterity. Finite movement like that is a little difficult for me to do super fast. Like, we're talking at the level of people that can like sweep pick and things like that. Most licks I can do okay with, but there might be, you know, a pretty finite level that I can get my speed to, and I may just be capped out. I mean, I guess the point of this I'm trying to make is that there's a lot of things that can get in the way of what you want to do in life, but you really shouldn't let those stop you. I mean, yeah, I've got a disability and I decided I want to be a musician, but of course, one way to look at it is this is really hard. How am I ever going to be able to do this? The other way to look at it is that, well, there's tons of people that do other music stuff online now, so I mean, I can do basically what I want from my bedroom as much as I want to. And I guess the key is contextualizing it, because I could be all sad and just not try to make an effort. But I decided that I want to be a musician and I'm going to, fight like hell to make sure that happens. And I mean, it does scare me a little bit. I'm afraid there's going to be a time where, my arms or my hands are just so weak that I have a really hard time playing guitar, and making difficult the videos is going to be difficult. For a basic one like this, I can set this up on my own, but I actually, for like stuff where I've got to do a demonstration with the guitar, I usually have to have one of my parents help me set it up, and I can't do it by myself. That's part of why you see the scenery in here is not exactly professional for music. And of course, that's because this is my bedroom that I've lived in since I was, I've been in here since I was 10 years old, but I've lived in this house for 26 of my 27 years of living. So here I am. Anyway, getting a little off a trend here, and it's like, yeah, there could be a time where my physical facility isn't that great. I don't foresee that happening to a significant level, but it's entirely possible. But of course, that's no excuse. If you guys know who Jason Becker is, he was an absolute prodigy of a guitar player in the late 80s and early 90s. And he ended up getting diagnosed with ALS in like 1993. And despite almost completely losing his bodily function, like, the guy was so advanced in his disease now, he can't move, basically. Even despite that, he figured out a way to set up his computer and his equipment to be able to record with, as little bodily movement as possible just from his computer. So if a guy that basically can't move is still trying his best to make music, then you don't really have much of an excuse. None of us really do, I suppose. But it's always good to remember, if you really want something, there isn't necessarily something preventing you from getting that. There's always a workaround somewhere to get to where you want. And it's like, my workaround was try my best to practice an hour a day religiously, try to use my mind, come up with good ideas, come up with good songwriting. I know there's not much songwriting yet, but I'm hoping a couple years down the road that'll be really serious. But anyway, main story of this video, I just wanted to sit down and talk about something. The Matt's Musing series will continue, and we'll be probably getting to more specifically musical topics. I got plans to talk about a little thing between grunge and guitar solos. Oh boy. Controversy incoming. That probably won't be for another month or two for that video. That's what I'm trying to do with the different, quote, series of videos, is kind of have them paced out to be once a month within my weekly upload framework I'm doing. So you'll see more sit in front of the camera and talk videos in the future. So with that, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe if you did. I hope I maybe reached out to somebody there that was having a hard time figuring out how to deal with their limitations or pursue music. Anyway, I hope you guys will stick around for more content in the future, and I'll see you guys next week for another video. Bye-bye.